everyone, welcome to ECED 190 Observation and Assessment. I'm going to spend the next few minutes giving you a brief introduction to class, and we'll go over the syllabus briefly and just spend a few minutes kind of outlining what's expected throughout the quarter. So, I am your instructor and my name is Angela Blooms. And my name used to be Merritt, but I got married in the summer, so some of my documents still say Merritt. My email still says Merritt, so hopefully that's not too confusing, but a couple of names there to deal with. This is a photo of me. For those of you who don't know me, that's a photo of me on my honeymoon last summer. All right, so here's my email, and here is my telephone number. Feel free to contact me should you have questions about class. I also will answer Canvas mail. It goes right to my email, so Canvas mail is a perfectly acceptable way to get in touch as well. And here are my office hours. So I have office hours in the Olympic Building, and then I also have office hours over at Puyallup on Wednesdays. If you find yourself on that campus, feel free to come see me there. And if none of these times work well for you, then go ahead and set up an appointment and we can make a different time. Okay, so you have two texts that are required for this class. One is The Power of Observation, and the second is Teaching Strategies Gold, the Child Assessment Portfolio. Now, both of these are available at the bookstore, and they're listed as required texts for this class. If you prefer to purchase them online or purchase a used copy of The Power of Observation, feel free to do that. That's perfectly acceptable. That's okay. Okay, so for this first week, it's important that you have your placement locked down. If you don't have a placement yet, please contact me as soon as possible. You need to put in your initial paperwork by the end of the week, and you're not allowed to start your volunteer hours actually until you start to, until you submit your initial paperwork. So get that in as soon as you can. If you're already working in the field, it's okay to volunteer at your place of employment. Ideally, they use Teaching Strategies Gold. If they do not use Teaching Strategies Gold, we can talk. You can still do your placement hours there, but we'll just, have an extra discussion. You need to do 60 hours of time, so that should be evident to you because you read it in your packet. So you do 60 hours total throughout the quarter at your placement site. And this is what's required of you in the class. All right, so let's talk syllabus. Let's talk assignments, requirements, readings, due dates. Okay, so here's a copy of your syllabus. It also can be found in the week 1 module, so you can get a copy of it there. It has all my contact information on there as well. Here we have a short description of the class. I'll just read this aloud to you real quick. We're going to collect and record observation and assessment data of young children in order to plan for and support the child, family, the group, and the community. So you're going to practice reflection techniques, summarizing conclusions, and communicating findings. Again, we have 60 hours per week. Your required text, The Power of Observation and Teaching Strategies Gold, the Child Assessment Portfolio. Also on the first page, we have listed the 10 outcomes for this course. I'll let you go through this on your own. You can see the kinds of things that you will be learning in class. And on the second page is the program or degree level outcomes. And so those of you who have taken early childhood education classes at Pierce before know that our program has 7 program outcomes. And they're all assigned to different courses. So for this class, there are 2 program outcomes associated with the class. One is outcome 3, observing, documenting, and assessing to support young children and families. And outcome 7, early childhood field experiences. So it's important to know these 2 program outcomes because you're going to use this for your portfolio slides that happen at the end of the quarter. And the core ability outcome that's associated with this class is critical, creative, and reflective thinking. So you can read through the details of these on your own. Page 3 has course policies and procedures. Again, I'm going to let you read this on your own, but I will highlight this first line that this is an online class. You should expect to be online at least twice per week. The class is not self-paced, so that means that you need to do all the work when it's assigned. So usually I'll put about 2 weeks worth of modules out at a time that you can work with, and no more than that. So it's really meant that we kind of work through this content together as a group. Okay. And what are we on? The 4th page here? So on the 4th page are course expectations. This is a lot of specifics about what you need to be sure you're doing when you're in your placement. Again, here underlined is you need to be working in your placement by the 2nd week of the quarter. So if you're not in a placement yet, you need to get in touch with me so we can get that sorted out for you. And then you need to get in your paperwork by the 1st week as well. And then here are some details that you should read through about what to do when you're in your placement. Okay, here's the thing that everybody always wants to know. What's the schedule look like? So I've mapped out our schedule based on the weeks 1 through 11, the topic that we're going to be focusing on during that week, the reading or video. So I've plugged in a lot of the readings. I haven't made a lot of the videos quite yet, so they're not going to appear in the syllabus, but they will appear in your modules on Canvas. And then what's due for that week. And so you can use this guide very easily to know what's expected of you each week and to plan. So if you know you're going out of town sometime, you can look ahead and say, oh, hey, look, there's an assignment due on the 6th week of the quarter, so I should think about that. So here you can look through and let's see. What am I trying to tell you here? I know. These readings refer to your required text. So when it says chapters 1 through 7, those are the chapters in your text. There are going to be some extra readings that I will plug into your modules, but don't worry, for each week in your Canvas module, I have a checklist of things that you need to do each week. So you'll be able to stay on top of all the readings and all the assignments by using this grid and by checking in on Canvas. Okay, so you have here, evaluation section on page 5, lists all the different assignments that you are going to complete throughout the quarter and how many points are associated with each. So that initial paperwork is a big chunk. It's worth 35 points in class. You also have 3 discussions where you'll discuss a reading with your classmates. Those are just 3 of them, and they are 5 points each. So, and then let's get into the assignments. So the assignments I won't tell you a lot about right now, but they all have to do with documenting your observations. So there are all different ways to document your observations. And so one type is a time sample or an event sample. You'll do one of those, and that'll be 20 points. Another way to document your observations is through anecdotal record forms. So if you have taken child development, you have done an anecdotal record form before. So you'll do another one of those, and that's worth 20 points. Another way you'll use observations and to document them is through a matrix or a checklist. So you'll turn in one of those, and that'll be worth 20 points. You'll also make a portfolio page for a child in your care. So that would be kind of like a bio page having to do with some aspect of their development. And that'll be worth 20 points. So you'll also work on a special project, and that's due at the end of the quarter. Your special project has to do with that teaching strategies gold. So you're going, since it's due at the end of the quarter, but check it out, it's worth 100 points. So since that's such a big assignment, I want us to get started on that early. So I'll probably put that out around week 3 so that you can get used to working a little bit on that project throughout the quarter. So that's filling out the Teaching Strategies Gold, the book that you bought. You'll also complete some journal entries. You'll complete 10 journal entries, and that's worth 20 points. That's another thing I'll put out around week 2, but it's not due until the end of the quarter. And then just like all your other ECE classes, we do these professional portfolio pages worth 5 points each. You do 2 of them. And those have to do with the program outcomes and one of the core ability outcomes and what you took away from class that connects to that. And then you have final paperwork. So your final paperwork is your site supervisor evaluation and your documentation of hours. And that's completed by your supervisor at your placement. And that's worth 40 points. So you have 300 total points in class. Here is the grading scale that goes along with that. We grade by points, not by percentages. And then finally, the late work policy, very similar to all other ECE classes. Late work is only accepted 1 week past the due date, and anything late receives a 10% penalty. All right, so that's your syllabus. Read it on your own time. Enjoy it. It's only 5 pages. All right, what else? So the last thing I have for you is I just want to highlight a reading that you have next week, just one that I think is particularly important. You are reading a chapter next week, but you are also reading the NAAYC Code of Ethical Conduct. Now you should have gone through this in your Intro to ECE class before. We're reading it again in this class, and the reason why I'm highlighting it is because this is a real guiding document for us in the field, and it's important for us to know that it's there, and it's important for you to revisit it. So I'm just highlighting that for you as well. All right, ladies and gents, that's all I have for you today. I am looking forward to seeing you online.